we, Dad needed an extra horse to use, so he bought Joe. And the way he got his name, the fellow's name was Joe. And after he, he had two other horses that he was using to do the plowing with, but he thought he needed one to, in case one got sick or something happened, that he'd need that extra horse. But Joe was not one to work with the plow. If he, as his dad plowed with him, every time they plowed for maybe 2 or 3 weeks, he'd start losing weight, and he just never could, he couldn't stand the work. That kind of work wasn't for him, seemed like. And so, but while I was a kid, I had a lot of fun with him because he was always the fastest horse in the community when the boys were out on their horses and running. Well, it wasn't easy. It wasn't hard for me to get ahead. So, and the last time we kept him and moved him up to Izora, but when Dad was moving from Izora over to Edwardsville, he saw this pretty pasture out there, had lots of good green grass in it, and as he went across and he got over close to the house, he stopped and went over and talked to the fellow that owned the land and told him that he had a horse that was about 25 years old, and he needed he was moving now to town and he didn't have a place to put him. He said, I just hate to put him to sleep. And so he says, I see you've got a lot of green grass out here, and I wondered if you'd let me put him out here in your pasture till he finishes his life. And this fellow said, I never had a fellow ask me to give me a horse just to let him stay here to die. But he says, I can understand what you're talking about. And he says, you just bring him over and put him in the pasture, and we'll see that he has food and water and stuff so that he can make it. So I don't know how long he lasted it. Nobody ever found out, I don't believe. But he had a place that he could eat the grass and enjoy his life to the end. And so that was what Dad was trying to do. And he moved over there and they stayed that year, and then moved to Event and they stayed, I believe, 2 years there. And it must have been 2 years. But after that he went to, in 1939 he moved to Tyler. And we moved, I went down there in 37. And then I joined the Marine Corps. Naoma came down in the last part of 37. And she and Dale got married. And she had to live with Uncle Jim. They didn't tell anybody they were married because they didn't have a place to stay. And as soon as they got a place to stay, then they got their stuff together and then moved in.
Then they told everybody they were married.
Oh yeah, then they told everybody they were married. But they told me they were married the night before I went in the service. And I didn't know, when they told me, I didn't know for sure I could pass the test.
Retell the story about Joe and the bridge, not wanting to go under the bridge.
Oh, I didn't tell that, did I?
Not on the camera.
Oh, one day when we were, well, right after Nelma started to school, Dad didn't want her walking that far. So he didn't feel like a 5-year-old ought to have to walk 2 miles or 4 miles to get to school and back a day. It was about 2 miles each way. So we had this horse, and so Dad told me to take her to school on the horse. And that's the reason I started riding the horse to school, so she could ride. But when Jesse started, Jesse didn't get to ride, but everybody then walked. So but during that one time, that maybe it was one, no, I guess it was 2 years. In that 2 years was when I messed up the horse. He got so he wouldn't go under the railroad bridge. He'd make out like there's something there that was keeping him from going under the bridge. And as we would go, I'd have to stop and take her off, take Nelma off the horse and put her on the ground, get her on the ground, and take the horse under the bridge, and then put her back on and climb back up myself. And about 2 or 3 weeks after that started, after he started doing that, one morning I decided I was finished with that. So I got me a little club, and I got Nelma off the horse, and I got on him, and I was going to ride him under the bridge, and he wasn't going. He started rearing up. The second time he reared up, I hit him right between the ears, and he came down to his knees, almost went out from under him. And after that, I went back. After I stopped him there, or he stopped when he started falling. I put them on the back of the horse, and I got on, and we rode under the bridge that day. And we rode under the bridge every day that we went down there after that, and didn't have any trouble. So that, I think, is about what we had, wasn't it?
But after that, you couldn't get cows with him or
Oh, well, after that, it ruined him as far as being a cow pony, because he would have chased cows, and just as far as driving them, he was still okay for that. But if you tried to rope a cow, you couldn't throw the rope off of him, because he'd throw his head over, might have got him. You know, but you just couldn't use him for his real good purpose was. He was a roping horse, and I messed him up that morning.
Was your dad mad?
No, he didn't get sore. He knew I was going to have to do something, but I didn't realize that it'd be, that it'd have that kind of reaction, or I'd tried something else.
How long did y'all ride Joe to school?
Probably 2 years. Because when Jesse started to school, there wasn't room enough for 3. So, and neither one of them could have taken care of him. He's too spirited. He liked to run. And he even got him in a hurry.
Oh, wow.
But, it's turned on now.
Yeah, it's back on. So, going back to when you were a father, what were your favorite memories of your times, with the kids and Jeannie?
Well, when we could all be together and be out having fun, that was when I enjoyed everything the most.
What kind of stuff would y'all go out and do?
Oh goodness! See, we were out in say Camp Pendleton, and we were down close to the beach. We could go down by the beach and everything, and there were so many things that we could do, but when we were all together, all out having fun, that's when it was fun for me.
Was it fun having all daughters?
Oh yeah. That's, that's one of the things that Jeannie and I remember always tried to do is to take care of our children ourselves. We never had babysitters. And one time, there was a lady that was teaching school. I guess it might have been her first or second year, because she was kind of young as a teacher anyway. But she had going to church at the same church, and she knew the girls, and she'd come over to the house sometimes and play with them, or just enjoy their company, So she wanted them to go down to her mother's Well, on the way down there,